Welcome back to the podcast, Behind the Screams. I'm Shelby. I'm here with
Tony,
Casey,
Scott,
and we're here to discuss Distracted Haunted House again.
Again? Okay, that's cool.
The point of the podcast, we're gonna learn something new every day.
Every day, or is it like every week that we're gonna?
Every day.
Right. It's a daily podcast.
Every episode.
Okay, there we go.
there's lots to learn.
There is a lot to learn.
In fact, I'm learning every day. I'm learning right now.
very true. Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. Speak with it.
You gotta say words.
Say words.
Part of our vocal warm-up, I said to say words, and they literally took that as just say words.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know.
But it works.
It worked out perfectly fine, I guess.
So what have you been working on, or what do you want to discuss that we can elaborate from last time, or something new to discuss?
Well, here to my left is Casey, and Casey is our haunt manager. She came in last year as our one of the interns. We had two interns. We had one from Bowling Green University and one from University of Toledo to try to reach out to the college students, you know, people a little bit younger than I. It's been a few years since I was in school. But she did a great job. You know, both of our interns did an amazing job last year and really brought students in and got them interested in the haunt, you know, and even brought some of the different groups from the school, you know, like the theater groups got involved.
Right,
so,
right.
But
That's cool.
But Casey, she liked us more than maybe some other people, and she stuck around. So
I came back, so I obviously really enjoyed it. I think that it's a great experience just all around.
So this year we're calling her the haunt manager,
Right.
and the event manager. So
What does that entail? Like, because you started out as an intern. Like, what did that entail with you for that?
A lot of different things, actually. Technically, I was just like the social media and marketing, so I would try to reach out to different people and different businesses or groups and try to, incorporate them to see if they wanted to partner up with us or act, anything like that. But I ended up doing a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I was at the end of the haunt trying to cheer people on. I was within the haunt, giving actors water.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
outside
huge.
the haunt, getting the crowd all rowdy, and there was just a lot of different things that I did.
yeah,
so.
she was the face that you wanted to see when you got out of the haunt. She was the
friendly
friendly,
face.
Friendly, not the nightmarish type.
Yeah, the nightmare monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, maybe we'll use you as a prop this year.
Oh, that'd be great,
To
yeah.
distract people. And
Someone can just like pick you up and pretend that you're like nothing.
Someone will paint a portrait of me, and I'll just stand there, and then just have it at the end of the haunt.
There you go. So you're the manager now. Does that entail more responsibilities, or?
I would say maybe. I would say a little bit of yes.
Yeah.
I think that trying to hang around Scott a little bit more when it comes to, the big companies or trying to get people involved with the haunt from the very beginning rather than the end of the stick later.
Right.
So.
yeah, I mean, a haunted house is an organizational nightmare. I mean,
Yeah.
You have so many people that need to be involved, so many different organizations,
Right.
and you have to reach out to all those people, communicate, figure out a way to keep them on the same page, and someone like Casey's just amazing with organizational skills and all that, and any night she was not there, I was like pulling my hair out. I mean, it was awful.
So it's a lot of different moving pieces because you have a lot of like actors, volunteers, sets to take care of, and all that stuff. And one person can't do that alone. So it was probably really handy to have Casey around.
Yeah, I mean, I tried for a long time to do it alone, and then I realized that was really stupid. That's why it took me 10 years to get to this point.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got it up and running. So there's something to say about that. Some people, they'll work and they'll just be like, I can't do it, but you did. And it's third year or fourth year?
This will be the third year.
Third year. So I'm really looking forward to going in on hopefully opening night. I'm hoping I can make sure my schedule is good for opening night because you always have so many different people in at a time anyway, like new people Friday, new people Saturday. On actual opening night, it'll be interesting because it'll be like stuff like we talked about before. Stuff can go wrong usually, but you've been able to keep it together with different people and different costumes and different places.
Yeah, I mean, it's the people that really make the difference here, and this is like it's a Toledo based haunt. You know, it's
Right,
kind
it's
of like
homegrown.
it's a homegrown Toledo haunt. You know, a little different than some of the big corporations that maybe have some haunts in the regions or whatever. I mean, we draw a lot of different people, artists and entrepreneurial people and business people, interns, college students that want to contribute their creativity to it, and it shows, you know, and it's a little bit of a different flavor than what you might find at the bigger corporate haunts where they might just go out and purchase the latest prop that's out there, you know.
Right.
We're more likely to pick something up on the side of the road and build something around that.
Pick up some roadkill. Oh, this will work.
You never know. I think kind of going along with what Scott said, I think that something that is really different about us is we have a lot of different people from various places, like even different cultures, different personalities. Like every night we always have, you know, a different group of people. Of course, we have like the same, you know, main characters that will come out and support, but it's kind of nice to get, you know, fresh faces here and there and just kind of have fun with everyone.
I mean, I look at you, Tony. I mean, you're a young guy. Like, you know,
Right.
it's like, what do you...
Young.
You know, we want to do things to bring people out. You know?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
You know, young people. We want to have something here that, you know, is entertainment in the area. You know, something a little bit different. So.
Exactly. So you go out to a lot of like the local businesses instead of just hitting up like huge corporations like mega stores or other like big name like Hollywood, like not Hollywood, but like Halloween-esque stores and stuff like that. You guys are just hitting the ground running on local pride, essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. We're looking for like more regional companies, you know,
Right.
to get involved with us, and you know, organizations, you know, nonprofits that would be interested, you know, in helping out. So, and we help them out. We, you know, like we talked about last time. There's a fundraising aspect to it that
Right.
that's important. So.
Well, yeah. Well, it's you know, you guys nowadays in Toledo, there's this huge like push towards this 419 pride. A lot of corporations, a lot of companies around here are doing that kind of stuff, and it just feels like you guys, just from like this is your third year and all that stuff. It feels like you guys have been doing that before a lot of the other local businesses or anything that have actually tried to do that. You guys have had this kind of Toledo pride in yourself, or regional pride, instead of just like, oh, we'll go buy something from, you know, Michigan, or go buy something from Indiana and bring it back here. And no, you guys built it. You guys made it. You guys got all the people from Toledo and had them as actors.
Yeah, and that's true. And you know, and part of it is survival. I mean, honestly, too. I mean, I'm a small business person. You
Right.
know, I don't have big investors behind this. You know, but I think our creativity and our people, you know, and the way we're doing things a little bit differently make a huge difference. And I think you noticed that when you came through. You know, again this year. I mean, I'm working hard on changing things up and creating new characters and new rooms and new scenes and new distractions. I mean, I don't want any room you went into last year for the exact same thing to happen. It's just not what I'm about as far as this goes.
Yeah. It's like, is that permission for me to take points away if I do see a room I recognize?
Yeah, right.
No, I'm kidding. There's no way I'd probably remember every single room, but I mean, that's one thing. Is like people go to Haunted House like, oh, I've been to that one, so I'll go to new one this year. So it's like, well, yours is different every year, but then every night you have the chance to experience something different as well. So it'll keep people wanting to come back. I think once they experience it the first time, because they'll know, like, okay, they figure out, oh, it's changing up all the time. It's like, yeah, it's not like your typical haunt where they have the same thing every day, every year, and they don't change it up.
Right.
So you can come back and you get a new show, whether you come back next year, whether you come back every week, it's going to be different for you, and that's a real nice change of pace compared to most.
Yeah, we want to see you screaming. I know that's unlikely because you're not too many houses. Tony, on the other hand,
I'm gonna.
I'd like to see
I'm
him
definitely gonna scream a lot.
Oh, just wait till my dad gets in there. Like
Oh,
he's a big dude, but he has like a little heart of gold. So I have a feeling he's gonna go in there he's gonna lose it.
Yeah. So how people react is interesting, you know, in the haunted
Right.
house. I mean, because I just can't manage people. Like I have to get in there and act too. So
Yeah.
I have all this to do, But then, oh no, I better be this character tonight. You know, there's always some reason I have to be some.
You gotta have a
some
little fun
character.
yourself too. I mean, you spend all year doing this. You might as well get at least one night of some fun.
You should go to.
right.
You should experience another haunted house one time. Just on a weekday, if you have a day off, just go out someplace and experience another one and see if you scream.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Maybe.
might.
Get an experience of what you do to your customers.
Yeah. So like some of the people that come through, like we've had like college basketball teams coming through.
Right.
I mean, these guys are like 6'5", 6'6", and they're all huddled up together, you know, in a small group, you know, and then like, you know, my 10-year-old daughter jumps out and scares the hell out of them, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I feel like kids
great.
get them the most. Kids
Right.
are always going to be the thing that gets people because they
They're
don't
scary.
They're also going to look forward. Yeah.
So Scott, you've been in the segments of your haunt. Casey, have you done any of the acting as well?
Not really. I'm more of kind of the behind the scenes, so to say. So I really do enjoy scary things, but when it comes to haunted houses, I am a huge baby.
Okay.
So when it came to
Understandable,
getting
alright.
an internship here, it was a little strange, but it was kind of cool to see like behind the scenes of everything, and I think that's where I'm most needed, and I help out the most. That's what I'm better at, is trying to get people organized to scare the crap out of other people. So.
Yeah, I remember when we interviewed her, it was like, she's like, yeah, I don't really like haunted houses. What are you doing here? So then she explained, so and obviously we decided it was the way to go.
So I know we talked about a little bit about your inspiration last time. What do you look for in your own haunted house to accomplish as far as scenes and costumes? What do you think about when you're going to put stuff in? Like, do you want to have more actors? Do you want to have more props around and moving, like animatronics, whatnot? What comes to mind when you're building your haunt?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing for me, like, is I really, like, the front scene, I really want to make different every year. I want to catch people off guard and do that. So, and then it's important also that the things that we advertise, that we have that in the haunted house. You know? I mean, you can't have everything that you advertise necessarily in there all the time, but because you have different people, you know, but the same themes and the characters should be present. So that's important to me. But yeah, it's really just the whole setup of the scare. I mean, that's what I enjoy, is actually seeing other people get scared, laughing or having fun, you know. And
It's some sort of an adrenaline rush instead of like being terrified for their lives.
yeah. And even, like, you know, it's interesting because Casey, you know, even though she doesn't enjoy haunted houses, she enjoys horror movies more than I do. So she's always like, you know, throwing things at me, you know, like, oh, this so-and-so character or this and that. And I'm like, yeah, you know.
You're like that one.
Maybe we could do something, like, inspired by that, you know, and then I'll go home and watch it so that I know what she's talking about.
No, I think it's been, you know, really great, and I think to have different ideas every year, especially like the kind of like the main scene, like the very front scene. I think that's kind of the very first impression, you know, people get, and kind of along, you know, what Scott said. I think that me personally, I think that actors are a little bit better than animatronics. I think it kind of just depends on, you know, the way it's set up, the way they move, the way they're supposed to scare people. But I think that, you know, if you have a decent amount of actors, but also like great lighting and great scenery, I think that really brings the scare in, rather than just jump out scares. Like just the fact that you're in like a creepy haunted house, you know, that is really realistic. Is a lot better than just a jump scare.
Yeah, it's so true. And then speaking of learning, that's something that I've had to learn, because when we first started, you know, well, 10 years ago, all I could think about was like, I'm going to have a haunted house and everything's going to be automated. It's going to be like a machine, you know. And, you know, then I realized that it was the people that really made it fun. So then by the time I got to the point of building Distracted, where it was like an empty shell, there was no walls and the space, I realized that, you know, when I build a room, I need to build it in such a way that there's just multiple places for people to come out, and give actors opportunities and options to do things differently when they, you know, because, you know, not everything works the same for everybody, you know, that they want to put their own spin on it. Yeah, so it's a great point.
It's a puzzle box, is what it is. designing it so that there's multiple outlooks to it. There's multiple different ways that people can show their own character or kind of use the space around them most effectively. Correct? It's like this really sick psychology.
It really is. I mean, it's weird. It's this weird art form, I guess.
Right.
Like it's like everything combined. Like. I mean, it's not really a play,
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's it's not really a movie, it's just kind of a.
It's a mixture of.
Yeah, it's a blend, and it takes all the different creative types, to be involved in it and make it happen every night.
Yeah.
It takes someone that loves haunted houses and a couple other people that hate haunted houses, but are great at organization and love horror films and can see outside the box rather than inside of it.
Yeah, you got to have a passion for this. It's a grind. I mean, it's not what people might think it is as far as as far as the financial benefits.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of the opposite.
Or the planning. I mean, it takes an entire year, to
Oh, yeah.
plan the next season. So.
Yeah, the planning is huge, and lining things up and lining people up, and then maybe some people don't necessarily follow through.
Right.
Like 95% of the time. So you basically got the 5% that you work with, and you just make it happen.
I guess I'd attribute it to like a stage show. You spend X amount of weeks or months on this thing, which you guys spend a lot more time on it, but you spend this amount of time and all this crap happens to you guys. All this stuff just gets thrown at you, and it and then finally opening night happens or opening day happens, and everything, even like the smallest minute bad thing that goes wrong, everything's still a success. There's like this huge, overwhelming feeling, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a huge, overwhelming, exhausting feeling at like 1:30 at night. But there is that group of people that hang around, and we talk about it, and we have a lot of fun. I mean, it's people wouldn't be coming back if they didn't have fun. So that's the bottom line. I mean, there's just people there that experience, it's a unique experience with one another that you can never recreate, and it's always the weird thing at the end of the season too, and you get the picture at the start of the season with the crew, and then you get the picture at the end of the season, and it's always, thankfully in our case, it's always a much bigger crew by the end of the season. But that at the end of the season that next season will never be the same. It'll be a different group of people. There'll be some of the core people will be there, and some people come back for a night or two, but they may not be. So it'll never quite be the same, and the show won't be the same, And I know I had actors going around, some of them teary-eyed, taking photos of literally like every little prop and corner, and they sent me all these photos, and it was wonderful. But I would have never did it because I didn't have the time, and plus I know I was going to rip that stuff out, and just do something different. That's what I was excited about.
So I have two questions. One, what for both Casey and Scott, what are your most like memorable experiences, like the good ones, and then do you have any like horror stories?
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that one thing that it always kind of sticks out in my head is, and something that's always really fun is, because the actors kind of get, their own option to, how they want to do a scare kind of thing. It's not always set up the same. Mm-hmm. They always end up scaring other actors as well. And even though I'm not an actor, I've gone through the haunt multiple times, behind the scenes, trying to make sure all the actors are okay, and I've gotten scared multiple times, so I think that's probably a memorable moment for me.
That's amazing.
One of the memorable moments for me, I guess, is just it probably was it was a bad idea. I told you last episode I have lots of ideas, and some are good and some are bad. Well, my 10-year-old daughter, is still rather short in comparison to an adult. I don't know why I felt like I had to explain that, but she's short.
Some people don't understand that. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyways, she was in a room basically where, she was really scary at times, like in the chair, but when she would go to the other side to the wall, she would like jump out. And if they would happen to look down and see her, she was frightening,
Right.
But often they really just didn't look down. So I thought, well, here's a brilliant idea. I know what to do. I'm just going to make this platform that she can stand on so that she's as tall as everybody else. And come across and scare the hell out of them. And I was in a position acting where I could watch her, so this was the next night or whatever, and I had built this ramp, and I had a couple people close to me that helped me run the haunt, told me that I should do not build a ramp and do not put a ramp there, it's going to be a bad idea. And I'm like, oh no, we're good, we'll do this. So anyways, I put this ramp up, and a group, I swear, this was probably the oldest group of ladies who ever came through the haunted house. They had to be they were senior citizens, let me just put it out there. I don't know. You don't see that many groups but you will see the varying ages, but they were probably the oldest. And they came in that room, and there was a blinding light, and my daughter was not in that position, she was somewhere else, and they took a right turn on the ramp, and they went down hard. And I jumped up, and I jumped out of character, which I know we're not supposed to do, but in this case, obviously.
Well, yeah.
It's okay, they were senior citizens, and they were down.
Yeah, they were down. They were down hard.
Where's Life Alert?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I felt so bad, and
goodness.
I walked them out of the haunt and made sure they were okay. Actually, they wanted to finish going through it, so I let them finish, and then I, kind of kept an eye, and I talked to him at the back of the haunt, and she was fine. Thank God for that, and then immediately I ripped that thing out of there.
Yeah.
I think I might have burned it too.
Yeah. Good riddance.
I mean, it's still like a learning process, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, and we take safety really seriously, so I don't give the wrong impression. But it just was one of those things. I was so excited to make the scare happen, and then, in retrospect, it would have been best to not have done that. Kind of like the Scream Party, where I sent Casey.
A Scream Party?
Yeah, we have lots of ideas, and it was just another.
Yes.
It was good in some ways,
yes.
but
we
it's
try
good
to do
intentions.
we try to do different events, during each weekend of the season, just to kind of make it even more different than it already is. And we just tried to, incorporate with either other businesses or other groups, and sometimes it just doesn't go as planned. So you live and learn.
Yeah. So I think the main problem with that Scream Party had nothing to do with the party. It just had to do with the fact that Casey wasn't in the haunt. She was over there helping manage the Scream Party. So they had a great time, but, we struggled on our end. So live and learn. So we might just do a costume contest this year. And not
That'd be
actually
cool.
do
That would be a good
Halloween
idea.
parties.
So, are you going to still have the recovery zone out back after you go through the haunted house then?
Yes, that's huge. That's very important. I feel like people really love that. They've really enjoyed that. And,
Right.
And
You're the first haunted house I've ever heard of that does anything like that. Usually just like, okay, bye.
yeah, no, I want to keep them around. I want them to enjoy themselves. I want it to be an experience. I want them to be able to get pictures and just enjoy the time.
I feel like it would be kind of back to where you kind of had this haunt built in your basement. Like you had like this whole party around it. So instead of just like going, okay, go through the haunt, then see you later. It's come out, enjoy some, talk with us.
Oh yeah.
Tell us what scared you the most. Tell us what didn't scare you. Maybe we can work on that.
Yeah. The scariest thing is if I could talk to everyone when they leave the haunted house, I probably would.
It's like have them go through like a little survey as you're going. Oh goodness.
Oh, that'd be fun. Do you guys want to wrap it up? Or do you have
Anything-
more to say?
Any last comments, questions, concerns?
No, I mean I just really appreciate you guys doing this and talking to us, and Casey coming here with me.
It's a delight.
Oh, I love doing this.
Very
I
delightful.
mean, there's lots more stories that we can share. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to do it again,
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Tune into
Always.
episode 3.
All right. Episode 2. We're
the
going to
books.
sign off.
In the books.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.